Chosen one, there is a knock that has been waiting at the door of your life, and Archangel Michael has been sent to make certain you do not miss it. He does not come with thunder today. He comes close, the way a friend leans in to tell you something that cannot wait another moment. The breakthrough you have prayed for through long and quiet nights is no longer somewhere far off on the horizon. It is here. It has crossed the distance. It is standing at the very threshold of your destiny, and the hand of heaven is already raised to open what has been sealed shut for so long. For years you have pictured this answer as something distant, something you would have to climb toward, reach for, and somehow deserve through one more season of striving. But the picture was never quite true. Heaven was always closer than the striving made it feel. And in this moment, Michael lowers his voice almost to a whisper, so that you will understand he is not shouting at you from far away. He is standing right beside the door, and he is asking you, gently and without a trace of blame, to turn and look at what has been waiting there all along. Listen, because Michael has crossed a great distance to reach you in this exact moment, and he would not have come if the hour were not urgent. He has watched you hold on, when holding on cost you everything you had. He has seen the prayers you whispered into the dark with no strength left to whisper them. He has counted the mornings you got up and tried again when nobody would have blamed you for staying down. And the message he carries is simple and urgent and full of love. The waiting is finished. What stood between you and the answer has been moved by the Father, and now there is nothing left to do but rise and receive. This is not a someday word. This is a now word, spoken over the now version of you, in the now of this very hour. If you feel something stir in your chest as you hear this, that stirring is not your imagination playing tricks on a tired heart. It is recognition. Somewhere deep within, beneath the layers of caution you wrapped around yourself, the part of you that never fully stopped believing is beginning to lift its head and look toward the light again. Let it rise. You do not have to manufacture the feeling or force it into being. You only have to stop turning away from it. Heaven has been speaking your name across these long seasons, patiently, persistently, and today, the sound finally reaches the place in you that can hear it and answer. If this word is landing in your spirit, type the word ready in a quiet moment as a small act of agreement with what heaven is doing. Chosen one, let us speak honestly about the weight you have endured, because Michael does not want you to walk away thinking any of it was wasted. You have carried a hope that most people would have set down and forgotten long ago. You watched others receive the very thing you were asking for, while you were told once more to be patient, to trust, to wait a little longer. You smiled when your heart was heavy enough to break. You served others faithfully in seasons when no one thought to serve you. You kept the faith in rooms where faith felt foolish and out of place, and you wondered, more than once in the deepest part of the night, whether heaven had simply forgotten where you lived. There were days you almost stopped asking. There were prayers you began and could not finish, because the words felt worn thin from being repeated so many times into what seemed like an empty sky. And still, somehow, you did not let go all the way. Something in you held the thread, even when your fingers ached. Michael saw every one of those days, and he wants you to know that none of them went unnoticed, and none of them were in vain. Hear this clearly, and let it settle all the way down into the deep places. You were never forgotten, not for a single hour, not for one breath of one day. The delay you walked through was not silence, and it was not punishment, though the enemy of your peace worked hard to make it feel like both at once. It was preparation. There were things that had to be finished in you, and things that had to be quietly arranged around you before the door could open the right way. The breakthrough that is coming is far larger than the one you first asked for, and the smaller, younger, more fearful version of you simply could not have held it. The weight was heaven, making room for more than you knew to request. Think of how a wise farmer leaves a field to rest before the richest harvest of all. To the passing eye, the ground looks empty and abandoned. Nothing seems to be happening on the surface. Yet beneath that surface, hidden from every onlooker, strength is gathering, roots are reaching deeper, and the soil is being made ready to carry a weight it could never have carried before. That is exactly what these long and lonely seasons have been doing inside of you. What looked like nothing was, in truth, the most important work of all, and it was being done in the dark, precisely so that nothing could rush it or interrupt it before its time. The harvest is not late. The harvest was being made worthy of you. And now the season has turned, fully and completely. Michael wants you to understand why the breakthrough is arriving precisely now, in this hour, and not a single moment before. It is because the work in you is finished. The fear that once would have made you shrink back from the very thing you prayed hardest for has been worn smooth by every trial you survived and refused to let break you. The pride that might have made you snatch the gift and forget the giver has been gently softened by every night you spent on your knees with nothing left in your hands but trust. You were being shaped quietly. The whole time you thought you were only being delayed. You are no longer the one who would have grasped the answer too soon and lost it through unready hands. You have become, through all of it, the one who can hold and keep and steward what heaven gives. The thing you almost gave up waiting for required a version of you strong enough to carry it without breaking beneath its glory. And that version of you was forged, slowly and faithfully, in the exact seasons you were convinced were tearing you apart. The breakthrough waited until you were truly ready for it. And now, at long last, beyond any shadow of doubt, you are ready. There is something the Father himself once whispered to you in this very hour. He says, "I was building you the whole time you thought I was ignoring you." Every locked door along your road was a kindness wearing a hard disguise. Every closed answer was protecting a greater opening you could not yet see. Receive that truth, chosen one, and let it heal the places that grew bitter in the waiting. The very things that felt like proof you had been passed over were, all along, the clearest proof of how carefully and completely you were being kept and prepared. Let that settle the questions that have followed you for so long. The reason it took this long was never that you were unworthy of a faster answer. It was that the Father refused to give you something small when he had already set aside something whole. He would rather you wait for the real thing than rush you into a lesser one that could not have held your future. That is not neglect. That is the deepest kind of love, the kind that protects you even from your own impatience. So now the question is no longer whether the breakthrough is coming, for it has already come, and it stands, and it waits. The only question that remains is whether you will rise and open the door. And Michael wants you to know, with all the gentleness heaven can hold, that opening it is far simpler and kinder than your weary heart fears. You do not have to perform some great and impossible feat to deserve it. You do not have to earn this with one last heroic act of strength you no longer feel you have. You only have to turn toward what heaven is offering and say yes with the whole of your tired, faithful, beautiful heart. The door does not respond to your performance. It responds to your willingness. It opens not for the strongest, but for the ones who finally stop running and turn around. So set down the exhausting idea that you must somehow prove yourself one final time. The proving is over. The grace is here. All that is asked of you now is the simple, trusting turn of your face toward the one who has been waiting for you with open arms this whole time. To open the door, begin by gently letting go of the picture you painted of how this had to happen. The breakthrough may not arrive wearing the exact face you spent years imagining for it. It may come through a door you had long ago stopped watching, through a person you almost overlooked entirely, through a sudden and quiet redirection that feels at first like an inconvenient interruption to your careful plans. Do not measure the answer by the shape you imagined for it. Measure it instead by the deep and settling peace it carries with it. For that peace is the unmistakable fingerprint of heaven, and that peace never lies to those who learn to trust it. Open the door also by daring to truly believe again. Belief, after a long and disappointing wait, can feel like the most dangerous thing in the whole world, because hope that was crushed before leaves a tender scar, and the wounded heart learns to brace itself rather than reach out one more time. Michael understands this tenderness in you completely, and he does not scold you for it. He is not asking you to pretend the wait did not hurt, or that the losses along the way did not matter. He is only asking you to risk hope one more time, because this time, unlike all the times before it, the answer is already standing on the other side of the threshold, close enough to hear you breathe. And open the door by finally acting on the small nudge you have been quietly ignoring. The breakthrough rarely begins with a great and dramatic leap. It begins with a single faithful step that says, in trembling honesty, I believe you are moving, Father, and so I will move with you. Make the call you have been avoiding for weeks. Send the message you keep rewriting in your mind. Say the prayer out loud instead of only thinking it in silence. Take the one small step you have been postponing for fear of being disappointed, and then watch in wonder how heaven rushes to meet you the very instant your foot leaves the ground. Now Michael must speak directly to the thing that almost makes you miss this entirely, because he loves you far too much to leave it unspoken and lurking in the shadows of your heart. There is a particular fatigue that settles over a soul that has waited too long and hoped too many times. It is the heavy fatigue that whispers, do not get your hopes up again, you already know how this ends. It quietly tells you to keep the door closed and bolted, to stay small and safe and unseen, to protect yourself from one more disappointment by simply refusing to believe that the knock at your door could possibly be real this time. This is the most dangerous moment in any long wait, the moment right before the answer, when the soul is most tired and the temptation to give up is strongest. It is no accident that the fatigue grows heaviest just as the door begins to open. That is precisely when the old voice fights hardest to keep you in the dark, because it senses the light is near. Do not mistake that final heaviness for a sign that nothing is coming. It is, in truth, a sign that everything is. That voice is not the voice of wisdom, though it has learned over the years to disguise itself convincingly as wisdom. It is fear, dressed carefully in the respectable clothing of caution. And if you listen to it now, in this hour above all other hours, you risk standing on the very edge of your long-awaited answer and then turning slowly back into the very night you were finally being led out of. Michael has come across the whole distance of heaven precisely to keep that quiet tragedy from happening to you. He will not stand by and let you mistake the doorway for a wall. He will not let the last stretch of the road be the place where you finally lay your hope down in the dust. He has seen too many faithful souls come within reach of their answer only to turn back, exhausted, convinced one more time that good things were always meant for someone else. He has watched the door stand open while a weary heart walked away from it. And he refuses to let that be your story. Not after everything you have already carried, not when you are this close. He has positioned himself between you and that old retreat, and he will not move. Hear the truth that breaks the very power of that fear. The disappointments of your past were never, and could never be, the final word spoken over your life. They were chapters in a longer story, painful ones, yes, but never the ending of it. A heart can be deeply tired and still be entirely right to keep hoping. You can feel afraid and still reach out your hand for the handle of the door. Courage was never the absence of fear, chosen one. That is a myth that quietly shames the brave. Courage is hope that keeps walking steadily toward the door, even while the old wounds beg it loudly to turn around and stop. The bravest thing you will ever do is not pretend you are unafraid. It is to feel the full weight of every disappointment and still choose, in spite of all of it, to reach. That choice is not foolishness. It is faith in its purest form, and heaven honors that kind of faith above almost anything else, because it costs the most to give. Every time you have chosen to hope when hoping was hard, you were building something stronger in your spirit than you could see. That strength is what carries you across this threshold now. And remember this above all else as you reach out your hand. You are not opening this door alone, and you were never meant to. Michael stands beside you now, his strength steadying your trembling arm. The Father himself stands with you, closer to you than your own breath. The very same strength that carried you through every single season you somehow survived is the strength that will steady your hand at this threshold now. You do not have to become unafraid before you act. You only have to be willing. Take the willingness you have, however small and shaking it may feel, and offer it honestly up to heaven, and then watch it become more than enough. As you cross this threshold, chosen one, the Father wants you to know clearly who you are becoming, because this breakthrough is not only a gift that you receive into your open hands, it is also a doorway into a truer and freer version of your very self. On the other side of this single sacred moment stands the person you were always meant to be, no longer defined by the long waiting, no longer marked and weighed down by what was withheld for a season, but quietly crowned by what is finally and fully being given to you now. You are not a forgotten soul who somehow slipped unnoticed through the cracks of a busy and distracted heaven. You never were, not for an instant. You are a chosen one whose breakthrough was so precious that it was worth protecting, worth the long preparation, worth all of this patient and uncommon care. The long road did not make you less than you were. It made you ready in ways you simply could not have become by any other path. The very testing that nearly convinced you of your own smallness was heaven quietly building something within you large enough and steady enough to be trusted with everything that comes next. Look back, just for a moment, at the person you were when this journey began. You did not yet know your own strength. You had not yet learned how deep your faith could reach. You had not discovered that you could be brought low and still rise, broken and still believe, delayed and still love. All of that was hidden in you, waiting to be revealed by the very pressure you wished would end. And now it shines in you, unmistakable, the quiet evidence of a soul that endured and was not lost. Step through now, and leave the old identity behind you at the threshold where it belongs. Leave behind the version of you who came to believe the waiting would never, ever end. Leave behind the one who slowly learned to expect every door to stay shut and bolted. That person served you faithfully and bravely through the long night, and you can honor them with quiet gratitude. But the night is over now, and they are not needed where you are going. The one who walks through this open door is not waiting anymore. The one who walks through this door has finally, gloriously arrived. Chosen one, take a slow breath now, and let your heart grow quiet and still before heaven. Let gratitude begin to rise within you, not because everything in your life is already perfect and finished, but because the door is open and the answer is here, and you are still standing, still breathing, still believing, still loved beyond the very edges of your own understanding. Be thankful even for the long and difficult road, for it was that road, and no easy shortcut, that brought you all the way to a threshold most souls never reach in a lifetime. Every step of it was leading here. Now release, gently and on purpose. Let go of the tight grip you have kept for so long on the weight itself. Let go of the quiet fear that the knock at the door is not real. Let go of every old disappointment you have been carrying around, like evidence in a case against your own future. Open your tired hands and let it all fall softly away, and feel for yourself how much lighter you become in the very moment you stop carrying what was never yours to carry forever. You were never meant to hold those weights into your breakthrough. Lay them down here. And now receive this declaration spoken over your life, spoken gently and meant completely, with nothing held back. You are ready, you are seen, you are deeply known, and never once forgotten. You are no longer waiting at the door, you are walking through it. You are held securely by the Father and guarded faithfully by His messenger. You are stepping into the breakthrough that was prepared for you before you ever knew to pray a single word for it. You are exactly who heaven needed you to become, arriving exactly and perfectly on time. If this word reached the deep place in you, let it be sealed now by your own voice. Speak it where others can read it. Write the words "I am walking through" as your own declaration that the door is open and you are crossing the threshold today. Carry this with you, chosen one, as you rise and go forward. The breakthrough is not hidden behind a wall you must somehow break down with the very last of your strength. It is waiting behind a door already standing open, with all of heaven on the other side of it, leaning toward you, waiting to welcome you home at last. Rise, beloved one, step forward into the light. It is your moment, and it is now, and it is sealed. And so it is. Amen.